Alrighty, so a long time ago, people in the Destiny community were putting this season out, this fan-made season. There was I think there was a video about like an opening, a seasonal opening, called Season of the Plague. Now, it was a SIVA season, a season themed around SIVA, but I'd never heard any ideas of what the season would be about, other than it just involved SIVA. So I was like, what could it be about? And I thought about it for a while. I mean, it was an idea that came here and there. I kept trying to figure out things. I remember when Season of the Splicer first came out, a lot of people thought it was going to be SIVA because, House of Devils had Splicers, but then we found out Splicers are just part of every house. But I was like, SIVA would be cool. I know Bungie said that SIVA's story is done. I think that's bullshit. Like, come on. There's so much you could do with it still. I mean, you had ideas for it in early Destiny 2. I mean, there's concept art of it. I think there's still a story there. And one of the stories that I eventually came on, something me and my friends talked about here and there. One of my friends really like this idea, and we'd love to see it in the game. So we have Season of the Plague, obviously. Involves SIVA. So basically, it starts off. Ikora gives us information that reports have been coming in from Nessus about strange Vex that aren't really normal. They look different. They're acting different. They're attacking the other Vex there. So we go and we investigate it. We are then attacked by a giant Minotaur that has no abilities, and it attacks differently than a normal Minotaur does. And when we kill it, it releases the nanites from SIVA, right? And our ghost takes notice that it looks a lot like SIVA, but our ghost doesn't really understand how that's possible because we took out the SIVA replication chamber. So then we report back to the helm. Saladin is there to give us, our little audio thing, and he's concerned, rightfully so, because Saladin is also a main player when it comes to SIVA. He knows that we destroy the thing. So we're there, and then Mithrax comes on, interrupts Saladin mid-conversation. Mithrax has some serious panic in his voice and suggests that because the Vex is infected by SIVA, that something must be happening inside the Vex network. So Mithrax, knowing that SIVA is involved, gets Aramis's help, right? Reaches out to Aramis. Aramis comes in. Aramis has experience with SIVA, and Mithrax does. They were both in House of Devils. They both were... Mithrax, I don't know if Aramis was ever a splicer, but they both most likely used SIVA at some point. Aramis even wanted to take Outbreak out of the tower. That's what the whole 0 Hour mission was, of stopping Aramis from stealing it. And so then Aramis gets involved. Mithrax is there. The main characters in this season will be Saladin, Mithrax, Aramis, Ikora, and Asher Mir. Now, Asher Mir, it's like, why the hell we have Asher Mir? What's he doing here? Well, it's the Vex network. I figure he's going to be involved in some way, sometime. So then you go into the Vex network with Mithrax, right? And as we go in there, we are shocked by what we see, basically. Our ghost takes notice of it immediately. The Vex network, it has SIVA everywhere. It is invading the Vex network, and it's making its own Vex frames. It is building its own army with the Vex frames. That's not good. Let's just say that. And so, basically, instead of the Vex being made and the Radiolaria being in the center, now the Vex are being made and SIVA is being put inside of them. So that's always something. So we come across a friendly harpy inside of the Vex network that's beeping in Morse code. Our ghost translates it, and it's revealed that Asher's there, and that we need to help Asher, and Asher is going to have to help us to get rid of the SIVA into the station. So then we go in there, we meet up with the little Asher harpy every time we go in there. Asher directs us into a certain place, right? Because Asher has a little bit of control over the network, not a lot, but he's able to guide us into certain paths that lead us into Vex mines that aren't SIVA-fied. These are normal Vex mines, and Asher expects us to defeat these Vex mines and bring him the parts of the mine back until eventually he's able to take all these parts from these Vex mines to build his own Vex mine that can wipe SIVA out of the network. So, it's kind of the idea there. Obviously, when it comes to seasons, you have the whole like ink blot portion that happens like the 4th or 5th week. That's still gonna happen. I don't know what exactly it would be, but I think it would be interesting if we had a backstory kind of cutscene between Mithrax and Aramis and how they were affected when they first found SIVA in the House of Devils. We can maybe even get a backstory about the House of Devils, like the entire house, because as of right now, Destiny 2, the only house you really know about is House of Dusk, and like, who gives a shit about them? Right? It'd be cool to get a backstory about, maybe even a backstory just about like all the fallen houses. That'd be kind of cool. But basically, that's what like the season would be. It'll then be revealed at the end of the season how exactly SIVA came back. Right, that'll get revealed through it. But I don't know how that's gonna work out. I haven't thought that far ahead. But this is just like the base ideas that SIVA invades the Vex network. We have to go in and stop it, otherwise it's gonna be very, very bad. And then, you know, the season ends, I guess. That's Season of the Plague. So yeah, basic idea. If you like it, let me know. If you don't, tell me to stop making ideas. I mean, I make a shit ton of ideas every day, so some of them are bound to be shit, I know. But just let me know. That's all I have to say.